Welcome back. Some Democrats are pumping up on a controversial live streamer, Hasan Piker's channel. If you don't know him, that's okay. Here's a little taste of who he is.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
It doesn't even matter. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live free lives, free from this occupation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much.
America deserved 9/11. You know, with statements like that on the record, you think Democrats might want to keep their distance. But no, they don't. Instead, many are cozying up to Hasan Piker, treating him and going on his platform like a campaign stop.
I'm 33 years old.
Yeah, we're the same age, which is crazy because I'm a loser and you're running for mayor of New York. That's wild.
I went to Japan recently and I got both of you guys gifts. This one's for you. This is a Palestinian movement in Japan.
This is your third time on the stream.
But the first time in your studio.
Yeah, the first time
ever.
ever.
Which is all in like Christmas holiday spirit. I didn't know that. I didn't know you had the Christmas spirit.
So AOC, Bernie Sanders, Mamdani, and then at the end there you saw Ro Khanna, congressman, who today, after you heard, was on that stream for 3 different occasions, was asked about his association with Piker.
Why would you not dissociate yourself from Hasan Piker? Why?
Well, first of all, I have gone on every media podcast. I go on Theo Vaughn. I've gone on Sean Ryan.
You're going to go on Alex Jones?
I would not go on Alex Jones, but Hasan
Piker.
Piker.
As bad.
No, but Hasan Piker, I have criticized some of his statements. I have said that, of course, America didn't deserve 9/11 and that we were justified in attacking al-Qaeda. I have said that I do not agree with anti-Semitism, but there are a lot of people that Hasan Piker speaks to who are upset with the war in Gaza.
The idea that Democrats are going to expand their platform and therefore they should be open to appearing with people like Hasan Piker is on its face absurd. Of course, they wouldn't extend that same courtesy to Republicans to show up on far-right, politically incorrect podcasts. But it's not just showing up on his platform. Democrats are standing on stage with Piker. One of them is Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed. This is the same candidate who didn't want to comment on Ayatollah Khamenei's death, saying some of his voters might be upset.
I also want to remind you guys that there are a lot of people in Dearborn who are sad today. So, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all. I don't think it's worth even touching that.
Syed, by the way, also considers the United States to be under a regime.
I'm no apologist for any regime, including our own. And at the end of the day, the question is whether or not a leader focuses on his or her people. Clearly, the Ayatollah did not. And clearly, Donald Trump and this administration is not either.
Joining me now is Texas Congressman and currently running for Texas Attorney General. It is Chip Roy. Congressman, it's great to see you.
Good afternoon, Will.
Glad to have you here in Dallas. So after the 2024 election, I think one of the things that Democrats told themselves is we got to get out there. We got to be on more podcasts. And they're using that excuse to explain their association with people like Hasan Piker.
Well, look, I think what we're seeing with Piker is just an indication of where the Democratic Party is today, where they are currently. I will give at least a little credit to Haley Stevens, who seemed to at least partially distance herself. She's a colleague of mine. But, El-Sayed, who you just talked about, was openly embracing it. And this is, I think, a pretty equal race. I mean, he's certainly polling somewhere around 30% and has a real shot at being, I think, the first Muslim United States senator. This is something we're seeing in the significant march of Islam across the United States, something that's been concerning to me and a lot of my colleagues as we've created the Sharia Free America Caucus. My friend Keith Self, local congressman from Collin County, just north of here, dealing with Epic City. But also what we've been seeing, obviously, with Mamdani, who you just showed the clip, where Mamdani is sitting there saddling up with Piker. There's no shame here in dealing with someone who literally just said that he wasn't going to be concerned about rapes after October 7th. I mean, what kind of a human being is that? Let's put aside the absurdity of saying that America deserved it on 9/11. He's literally justifying or ignoring rapes in a post-October 7th world. This is something that is fully out of touch with most Americans. But unfortunately, it's very indicative of the move of the Democratic Party towards this side and this radicalization and the March of Islam throughout America.
And not just, I feel like, on the March of Islam, but Hasan Piker represents something else. He is a self-admitted revolutionary communist.
Yeah.
His vision
That's right.
is to have communism through revolutionary mechanisms here in America. And to your point, this is where they are now on the left. This is now where the American Democratic Party is. They are cozying up to a guy who's saying, let's go, communism through revolution.
Yeah, and this is the Red-Green Alliance, right? This is not new. This is something we've been seeing across the entire world. We're seeing it in full display in Paris, full display in London. We have, a massive movement occurring. I just met with a very accomplished Indian American here in Dallas who was talking about their experience in India, their experience in the move of Islam and how that radicalization has hit India. And he was saying, look, we just don't want this to happen to America. So we came here to be free from that. And that Red-Green Alliance, the march of Marxism, combined with it, this is all well-funded. This is one of those things that as Attorney General I want to look at. Open up the books to these NGOs and nonprofits that are all getting funded to advance this radicalization throughout the state. This is something we have the power to do. It's something we should do. It's something that I'm talking to Secretary Besson about, something that I'm talking to Todd Blanche about. There's a coordinated effort in Washington, and I'll bring that to Austin and work with them to try to root it out.
All right, Vice President J.D. Vance today was in Hungary, and he gave a speech where he got a surprise call from the president.
He did.
Watch.
He did.
Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
That's the president's reception there in Hungary. Congressman, by the way, that's it. It's a fun moment.
Yeah.
It's also kind of illustrative of our relationship with various parts of Europe.
Sure.
Received well in Hungary, denied in France.
Yeah, Eastern Europe gets it. Eastern Europeans understand what totalitarian states and what tyranny looks like. Poland, Hungary, they understand, and in fact, they're very receptive to President Trump because they know he's been standing alongside of him. I mean, he said great things about Viktor Orban, the president. By the way, side note on the president, has there ever been a more accessible president?
No.
I mean, I pick up the phone and call the president picks it up. I once called him at 8 p.m. to thank him for something, forgetting he was in London. And he picked it up at 2 o'clock in the morning. The president is very accessible. He literally picked it up. Hello, Chip. This is a guy that is full of energy. He's out there fighting for America. But the Eastern Europeans get it. And I'm glad he called over there. Look, that's an important election. They're holding the line on the massive immigration influx, the issue we just talked about with respect to Islam.
Yes.
They're actually holding the line to prevent the total fall of Europe while we're watching France and the UK close to falling along with Germany.
That is absolutely accurate, the way you described that. All right, Congressman Chip Roy, good to see you.
Good to see you, Will.
Thanks for my Lukenbach, Texas sign over there.
Hey, man, let's get down there. We'll go to a show.
I need to hold it up on camera. All right, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.